Creatures of the night, it's your girl Tati. Since I'm the only person on earth who watched Rampage today, here's my review. Now, the show did start off at 6:30 Eastern Time. People got things to do, so a lot of people probably didn't watch it. Apparently, there was something more important on during Rampage usual time, whatever that could be. Now, we did start off the show with Takeshita versus Pentagon Jr., and I thought this was really interesting because I was just like, oh, I thought this was going to end the show since this match was a TNT Championship eliminator match. Whoever wins this gets to advance onto that little tournament that they're doing for the TNT title since Adam Copeland is no longer the champion due to breaking his leg. Now, this was a really great way to start off the match. I think I probably would have preferred for it to end the show due to what's at stake here. They're fighting for an opportunity to get a step closer to the TNT title. So I would have put this as a main event. This was great. Absolutely great. When I'm telling you, like, Takeshita has absolutely looked so much more comfortable really feeding into that heel energy, and he's really displaying that, even getting all up in the referee's face, things like that you never used to seeing Takeshita do, where it's just like, okay, so the whole Don Callis family thing has definitely rubbed off on Takeshita. And Penta is a guy who's definitely one of AEW's fan favorites and gave him a really great match here. And well, I'm not surprised Takeshita won this, but I did feel like prior to the match that it could either go either way. Takeshita is my number one pick for the next person to have the TNT title. So I'm hoping he was going to win anyway. But surprise, surprise, Takeshita ends up winning the match with a rising knee strike to the face. And I'm just like, oh, that's it? Like, the type of match that Penta just gave him, it just seemed like a finisher like that isn't something that would take down Penta. And this is something that I see a lot, where it's like, you should, like, wrestlers, I believe, should have multiple finishes and at least one submission move to, take a win with. And, depending on who your opponent is and depending on what type of match you have with that person, you should switch up which finisher you use. So I thought this was a little bit interesting. He usually used the Blue Thunder Bomb, but now it's something that I see that he's using in the middle of the match when I guess things kind of shift towards his advantage. And then from there, now he's using a rising knee strike, which I feel like when it comes to Takeshita, we could do better as a finisher. Either way, he won, and I'm happy with that. He's advancing on to get a step closer to the TNT title. So praise for Takeshita because he really, really needs this win. Matter of fact, I do think he's actually deserving of this title. While they're pushing him through this, process that they got going on, they need to be having more opportunities of him being on the mic, him having these promos, vignettes, whatever it is. We do not care if it's in English or not. Like, we literally don't. We need to see a little bit more from Takeshita, especially if he may end up winning the TNT championship. Now, after this, we have the learning tree, Chris Jericho. Let me just say this. I'm not a Chris Jericho hater. I will say that I speak for a lot of people when I say that people are tired of him. People have looked at Chris Jericho and felt like, yeah, he's past his prime. A lot of people are. However, when you're past your prime, are you doing things to help out the next generation? And to be honest, up until this point, he has not. So for me and a lot of people, it's just like everybody who's been under the umbrella of Chris Jericho haven't really gotten a chance to benefit from being under that umbrella. So now he has this learning tree thing, and people are just like, well, yeah, you're being an annoying heel, and that's what heels should do. But at the end of the day, anybody who's under this little tree with you, are they really going to advance to do bigger and better things? I don't know. I have no clue. Didn't work out with Inner Circle. Didn't work out with JAS. So I have no clue where that's going to go. Now, this dude, he's going to go and say that he's not on commentary because of the attack from Hook or whatever. It's him, Big Bill, and Brian Keith. Brian Keith is looking out of place to me in this situation, but we'll see how things go on. He's looking a little bit out of place. Now, here he's saying, I think I should step down from doing my regular duties of doing commentary for Rampage because I need to put all my focus in on, spending more time on Collision and Dynamite. He said I should be doing 3 to 4 segments a week across all the shows. And I'm just sitting here and I'm just like, no. No, I don't want to see more of you. I would love to see less of you. Matter of fact, they chanted for your ass to retire the other day. Like, what's going on here? We want to see less of you. And obviously, I think that's definitely what his response to the please retire chants that he's been getting. People just don't really want to see Chris Jericho if it's not benefiting other people or whatnot. And honestly, I don't know. We'll see what happens with the learning tree thing. Maybe it might be of service to Brian Keith and Big Bill, but right now it's really hard to believe. Now, we do have Roderick Strong who's backstage with the Kingdom. The Kingdom is cutting a promo. They're not happy about Roderick losing his title. I'm not happy about it either. Now, Roderick, he is feeling some type of way about losing the title, and he wants to put his frustration out on Lio Rush. So we're gonna get that match on Collision tomorrow night, and I'm just like, yes, what have I done all year? Have I been behaving, Santa? And you're giving me something that I didn't know I even wanted. I'm so happy about this. I think it's gonna be a really great match. I know some people don't like Lio Rush or whatever, but I do enjoy him in the ring, and Roderick Strong is also a really great wrestler as well. After this, though, they waste our time with Satnam Singh in action. And you already know, when they say so-and-so in action is a squash, Satnam Singh, he comes out with Sanjay Dutt. And to be honest, he doesn't have his own theme or whatever. And I'm wondering, well, why not? You know, why not? And who's already in the ring used to be pretty Peter Avalon. He's in the ring, and he looks absolutely shocked to be going against Satnam Singh. I'm just like, wait, they didn't tell you this is who you're going to be facing? Or are you shocked to see how big he is in real life? Like, the way he was selling the fear in the ring was so funny. But what was not funny was this squash match that we had. Satnam Singh goes, oh, I'm going to lay down, come pin me. And then he lays down, and pretty Peter Avalon goes and lays on him, but in a 1 count, Satnam ends up pushing him off. Then Satnam puts him in a bear hug, and the referee just can't bear the torture and ends up going for the bell. And I'm just like, what the fuck happened? This is wrestling? Oh my God. I'm gonna say this once again. When it comes to squash matches, this should be very rare. It really should. And this is one of those situations where it's like, if you had house shows, you could be having people like Satnam, who never gets in the ring, having the opportunity to be able to do something and learn something during that time. There are several wrestlers with wrestling schools that Satnam should just take his time to go over there and go learn a thing or two. He should be learning from people his size. I've always said this, like, guys like Satnam should be learning from other big, tall dudes just like him. It's because they know what it's like to work just like him. Paul White, where the hell are you? You still injured from that street fight from God knows when? Like, it's just a little bit weird that Satnam comes out and he really doesn't do anything. And like I said, him being trained by the right person, someone of his stature, could really, really help him improve in the ring. Waste of time. Now, we do have a promo from the Cage of Agony. They want to be in action, and out of the blue, here comes Hechicero, who comes out, and he's saying that he's going to be with them, like in a group. There's like no backstory. There's no nothing when it comes to this. He's just joining them. And I'm just like, okay, aesthetically, the four of them together, they look great. But where did this come from? I don't know. So now we have Timeless Toni Storm versus Viva Van. This is an eliminator match for the women's title. And this was actually not a squash. They gave Viva Van some time to really do her thing in the ring. Well, not her best that I've ever seen her, but she was able to do something, unlike when she was on Ring of Honor yesterday against Athena, and it was a total squash. So this time we got a chance to really see her, what it's like for those of you who probably never seen her in the ring. It was a great match. I did realize we have, obviously, Mariah May, who's so cute. She's ringside, and she's just being the cutest thing ever, reacting to everything that's going on to the match. Luther is there as well. He's there. And there's definitely animosity between those two, for sure. And if you're really paying attention, this is definitely going to change things in the whole storyline with Toni Storm, because now Toni Storm is feeling like she can't really trust Luther anymore, but he's there beside her regardless. So things are definitely going to change really, really soon. Really great match. Toni Storm, man, she's over as hell. Like, where do we go with her from here? Like, who is it that could possibly take the title from her? How much longer will she end up having the title? Personally, I can see it at least until All In that she may have the title. It has to take someone big to get that title off of her, and someone who's going to have a character that people will love as well, because, going from Toni Storm to going to some bland person, like, it's not going to work out the same, because now people are just hold these girls to a higher standard after seeing a really cool and thought out character like Timeless Toni Storm. Now, obviously, this is a eliminator match. They're not going to let Viva win. So Toni Storm wins this match with a Storm Zero. Now, after this, she goes to celebrate with Mariah, and Luther walks over to celebrate too. But she just shoos him away. Like, she doesn't want to talk to him. She doesn't really care that he's even around her or anything. And this is exactly what Mariah May wants. If Mariah had it her way, it would just be her and Toni Storm, and Luther will be out the picture for good. Something's definitely brewing there, and I like where it's going. I really do. I don't know if maybe we might see something like Mariah May versus Toni Storm, at least by All In, or, well, I wouldn't say Forbidden Door, but at least by All In. And the reason why I say that is because she could end up betraying Toni Storm. However, they have not done anything to really give you Mariah May. What they've given you is Mariah May as Toni Storm thus far. And if they really want to make a really great storyline out of this too, they could definitely have this betrayal thing go on. And then from there, we get a chance to see who Mariah May really is. And if they have no one else, they can have those two go at it for the women's title at All In. But by then, would we believe that, Mariah could take the title off of her? That's like literally in August. I don't think that's enough time. But whatever. We'll see what ends up happening with them. After this, we do have Saraya, Hardy Cameron. They're backstage. And basically, they're talking shit about Mariah May. And then they're saying that she wants to be Toni Storm and all that stuff, just like I was saying. And Mariah May is going to have a match with Saraya. And then they said, oh, next week it's no longer going to be May. And I'm just like, oh, it's already June. I get the joke, but it was just like, it took a second to get what they were saying. And I'm just like, well, I don't know how funny that was. And speaking of not funny, Kyle O'Reilly, they are wasting my boy's time. They put him in a squash match with Jordan Cruz. Like I said, once they say so-and-so in action is a squash, he comes out there and win in like a minute, maybe a minute and 15 seconds. Kyle O'Reilly is not a squash guy. Absolutely not. He's a technical beast who should be in the ring with somebody who has a similar style to him. I know there's not a lot of technical wrestlers, but at least he shouldn't be in the ring for a minute and 15 seconds. Like, that's not his vibe. It really isn't. If this is how they're pushing him after he's been having excellent matches since his return from his injury, I'm afraid for Kyle O'Reilly. Like, for real, for real. And then Kyle O'Reilly is going against Will Ospreay for Collision. And we already know what's going to happen with that, because the international title is on the line. My boy is not going to win it. He really isn't. As long as he is booked to look strong in this match, that's all that matters. But, squash, no, that's not Kyle O'Reilly thing at all. After this, we do have Taya, Valkyrie, Johnny TV. They backstage cutting the little promo. And Johnny TV says he wants to face someone that he's never faced before, which is Claudio Castagnoli. So they do have a match on Collision. And I thought that was interesting. I was just like, were they not in WWE at the same time? Have they ever faced each other before? Probably not. Now, I'm interested to see what they do, as long as it's not a squash on Johnny. The last time we saw Johnny, he wasn't a squash match. Who he was in a squash match with? Whoever it was, Johnny is not a squash match guy either. I was very, very disappointed with how that match went. Now, main event somehow, Ray Fenix versus Isaiah Cassidy. As they don't had buried Isaiah Cassidy with Roosh the other day, somehow he's getting a main event opportunity against Ray Fenix. For what reason? No clue. It was a great match. However, I just really feel like this was so out of place in terms of the order of the show. This should have been an opening match, and then Takeshita and Penta should have been the closing match. I think it had a slightly better vibe anyway to it. And like I said, they're fighting over to advance on to the TNT title, so that would have made more sense. Still a great match with Isaiah Cassidy and Ray Phoenix. It was a little bit of it did feel weird that, this was the main event, especially after Isaiah Cassidy got his ass whooped and drug around whatever arena they were in the other day. And it's just like, wow, this is just so strange how it would come to that. But either way, Ray Phoenix ended up beating Isaiah Cassidy. Now, that's what I'm just saying. Like, sometimes you got to connect the dots and just be like, okay, well, the last time we had this person on, such and such happened. Does it make sense to put them in a mini event? No. Or look at just what's going on the show and just put the order in the show like a certain type of way. I've always say when they do these tape shows, they have an advantage of manipulating the show to put the shows in whatever order that they actually want to. So I don't know if it was filmed this way per se, but it would have made more sense for the main event to be at that first slot or whatever. I do feel like Penta and Takeshita brought it a lot more. So by the time we got to the main event and you're being bored as fuck from all the squash matches you just saw, you're just hoping to end the show with a bang. And I feel like this match was not better than the opening match. Whatever. Still good. I'm so looking forward to Collision. I feel like it's going to be great. Just want to see a lot more of wrestling, less talking this time. Collision, I used to always prefer over Dynamite. And now Collision has definitely transcended to having that Dynamite feel. And honestly, I'm not feeling that. It felt like Collision did stand out on its own those first few months. And dare I say, when Phil Brooks left, the landscape of Collision absolutely did change. And it's just a little out of whack for me, but we still get some good stuff on the show. I will be live tomorrow doing a watch along with Martina. Come pull up and see us and have a great time while we watch the show. Guys, thanks so much for watching my review. I'll see you tomorrow for Collision. Bye.